All right, this video is just going to walk you through how to create your Lead Igniter account. So what we're going to do, Steve, as my tutorial host, Steve, why don't you go to your leadigniter.ai tab, and now you're logged in, right? Steve, this is your account, and we've created that Director of Facilities campaign. To do that, all we did was create new campaign on the right-hand side, Steve. See that orange button? Yep, that one. And so we created a simple campaign. So if you pick simple, it'll open up and we can do it from here. That's fine too. So go ahead and click on that. And then campaign name, we're going to target, I think we're going to target facility directors, right, in Orlando. So facility directors, Orlando. Yep. And then the next step we're going to do is if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see your searches will appear here and then add search. This is where we're going to identify what folks we're going to reach out to in this campaign. So that add search button is going to be really important for you. By the way, I want you to know, Steve, you can add multiple searches to the same campaign. Okay. So in other words, if you create a campaign in Orlando, and that campaign goes well for you, and now you want to create a campaign in, let's say, Miami or Tampa, you can just go in there and add an additional search parameter for those people. Okay. I like organizing it though, so I'll oftentimes see best practice as just having multiple campaigns and each one of them being labeled differently. Let's say this time you're going after facility directors. Next time you want to go after facility manager, Steve, we would create a new campaign and then a new search. And so in order to get the link to put there, I need you to go over to your LinkedIn. So just keep that open for now. That's fine. It doesn't, yep. And then, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into your search bar right there and you're going to type in facilities director. Look at that. It's already there. Yep. So, yep, you can click on that. That's fine. Yep. And then in location, you're going to first click on people because we're going to target people. And then in location, you're going to want to select Orlando or Central Florida under locations up at the top. There you go. Yep. Orlando, Greater Orlando. That's perfect. Yep. Okay. So now you've got roughly 1,800 Orlando-based, Greater Orlando-based facility directors. So there's another option here where you can go to all filters. So see all filters on the top? Yep.
Yep.
And then if you scroll down there on the right-hand side, yep, keep scrolling. You can go to industry. So let's say you wanted to target a particular, let's say you wanted to target restaurants as an example, facilities or apartment complexes, et cetera, hospitals. You can obviously add an industry there, and that will dwindle and really put a keen focus on whatever that industry is. But in order to run a campaign, you always want to make sure you have at least 100 to 200 people in that campaign. You don't want, typically, we don't recommend best practice, Steve, is to not have any more than 2,000 in a campaign. So
Okay.
this number of 1,800 is actually really, really good. But I just want to point this out because this will help you kind of target it down a little bit more. If you scroll down even more, though, on the filter, yep, and you see the title.
Mhm.
So you could also put facilities director into your title. Scroll down under keywords. There you go. Title. If you put facilities director there, now that opens your search term up for something different. So go ahead and close out of that because you don't need facilities director in two places. Uh, Now see the link, the actual hyperlink at the top. Yep, you're going to copy that, Control C, and then go over here and then add search on the right-hand side and then Control V right there for search. Yep. And then add search. You'll see it there. So now we've created our first campaign. We have a search created. And now we're going to need to tell the system what we want it to do. So go to add step right there. Yep. And the first thing we're going to want to do is naturally send them a connection request. So we're going to click on that. Our best practice is not to include a text message. We're going to just leave this blank and we're going to click on save step. That's it. Okay. Now what we're going to do is after the person connects with us, now what do we want to do? We want to add a step and we want to send them a message. We do have best practices down below. So if you click the best practice button, in the center of your screen there. Yep. You'll see some best practices there. However, our recommendation here is, in my recommendation, this personal recommendation to you guys based on what we're finding works right now, Steve, is to say, hey, first name, if you want to be more casual, or hi, first name. Thanks for connecting. I'm a local Orlando boy. This is what I do. This is how I serve people, etc. All right. So that's what I would recommend putting there, Steve. Under placeholders, if you click on placeholders, you'll see full name, first name, last name, etc. Yep. Yep. And so you could just say hi, first name, or first name, just first name like that, whatever you like. Yep. 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 So I would say I'm a local Orlando guy, been serving the community since 2017, or since whenever your business has been around. Okay, so now that you got that first message saved, now the next thing you're going to want to do, Steve, is if you look down below where you created that new message, nope, nope, up, up, and this is good for everybody to see.
Okay.
So
Yep.
wait after previous steps. So what it's going to do is, now that you've connected, how quickly after you connect with that person do we want to send this message? I typically recommend anywhere between 2 and 3, 4 hours at the most. And so you're at 2 hours, that's a fine place to be. I wouldn't recommend waiting days, and definitely don't do this right afterwards. Otherwise, LinkedIn will know that you're not doing this manually, and it could pose problems for you in the future. So now click on Add Step. And I just want to show you real quickly that you can do other things. So we can also send another message. Hey, Steve, I'd love to hop on a Zoom call with you sometime next week and talk about any upcoming projects you might have, and talk about our referral program, right? So you could send another message as an example. You could perform an action. So Steve, if you click on perform action, I just want to show you the capabilities real quick. Up right there. Yep. So you could like the last 3 posts that this person made, maybe follow their profile, or endorse 5 skills. I'm not telling you to do any of those. I don't actually necessarily recommend any of those things, but you can do any of those things that you want to. Following is not a bad idea, because that's going to get you back in front of them. And I would wait a couple of days. I would do like 2 days maybe. Yep. And then save. And then one last thing on the go ahead and click on add step. And so another thing you can do is you can enrich the profile. Okay. And again, I'm not telling you to do this, but enriching allows you to grab the data from that person's profile. So what data am I referring to? What I'm referring to is their phone number, their email address, etc. And so you can get all of that information, and then we can do other things with that. As an example, we can email them, we can call them, we can drop a voicemail to them, all of those types of things once you enrich the profile. But you've got to enrich the profile in order to make those secondary steps. Okay. You already have, as part of your plan, Steve, you've already got 250 of these credits. So you can do that. You don't have to wait any time, by the way, to do that. Okay, just an FYI. You can do that right away. In fact, I'll say this, do 0. Yep. And then hit save step. And then if you want to enrich it, do me a favor and drag that box, the enrich profile, over to the left right after, nope, right after sending, yep, right there.
Okay.
Okay. So what this is doing is saying, once they connect with you, Steve, now you're enriching that profile. And then the last step, if you want to click on add step now, one more time. And now you could do things like a voicemail drop. So I know you're going after facility directors. Imagine if you were able to drop a voicemail to that facility director. There's some terms and service, etc. here. You read through that, click on agree. Yep. And then, yep, there you go. And so what you can do in our system is you can record a simple voicemail, and it would go something like this. Hey, saw that you were a local facility director. I know we connected on LinkedIn. Really appreciate connecting with you. I just wanted to introduce myself personally to you, Steve O'Toole, Superfast Electric here in Central Florida, and would love to serve you any way I can. Feel free to give me a call back at XYZ. look forward to serving you and your team in the future. So now that person receives that voicemail, maybe you're encouraging them to book an appointment with you. Maybe after that voicemail, you're sending them another message on LinkedIn. You can also email them. So this is really your all-in-one tool, Steve, to manage these LinkedIn connections as well as email, voicemails, etc. The one important thing that I need you to be aware of, though, Steve, in doing this voicemail is that this voicemail is not going to come from your company phone number. It's not going to arrive into their inbox from your company phone number. Okay. It's another phone number and it's not going to ring their device. It is a true drop of a voicemail onto that user's phone. In other words, their phone is never going to ring. They're never going to see a missed call. They're just going to see a voicemail in their inbox. So with that being said, this is just a basic tutorial getting you started. Once you're done, click on the X, Steve, because we're not prepared right now to record that voicemail, top right-hand corner. There you go. Click save at the bottom. I want you to just do me a favor, and we're going to go back into that campaign that we just created, which was just now. On the right-hand side, you'll see a pencil. Yep. I want you to delete the voicemail drop because we didn't record one. And then click save. Great job. We'll get out of this now. And then on the top of that facility director campaign on the left-hand side, there's a toggle button and you click on that. We are now active. We are now running. As long as this was during business hours, which for this particular situation, it's not. Watch another tutorial to see how this can be during business hours and how we can edit it, edit those hours. So thanks for watching.